Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Please be quiet and courteous to others and silence your cell phones now.
We want to know everything about the man you work for.
The man? Oh no. This isn't about the father. This is about the son. Artemis Fowl.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the movie experience. So, on this review, we're going to check out Disney Plus's newest hit, Artemis Fowl, which is an adaptation from the book. Never read the book at all. So there is this kid who they claim in the title is this criminal mastermind with magic and elves and all kinds of weird shit in the movie. And his father is kidnapped. He has to find this, I forgot what the thing is called, this Arculus, to give to this witch looking thing to get his dad back. And it's basically the very premise of the movie. Mark, you told me you saw it, correct?
Correction, I tried to watch it.
Good enough answer.
It is atrocious.
Quattro, did you watch it?
Holy shit.
I've heard so much bad about it, and it was something that I wanted to watch, but you said atrocious. It's not an everyday word.
I'm gonna say this, okay? Y'all know me. I'm a hashtag give it a chance guy. I was like, until it can't, it can be bad, but I'm gonna see, because usually the director don't say nothing bad because he likes bad movies, and that's where we get our bread and butter. We argue about the movies. When he told me this is awful, I said, now I gotta see it. Maybe do I play devil's advocate? Because then I was just like, let's just go in there with a strong head. And I'm gonna say this right now, it is awful.
Wow.
It is, and I'm not trying to say that to combat, to agree or nothing like that. It's awful. So
it's a truly awful movie.
It's really just not well done. And this is one of them movies where they said this is going to run off the Disney name alone, and it did. And that's upsetting because Disney puts out good quality, especially when it comes to Pixar and stuff like that. And I know y'all seen y'all's fair share of Disney and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give the good, if I can find some, the bad, and a little bit of spoilers. Okay, a little bit of good is, the guy that plays Cisco's dad, I liked him. He was cool. Dom, aka the butler, but you never call him the butler. I'm not gonna get
what?
it. It's this big black guy with blue eyes and bleached blonde hair. Yeah, we're not lying. There's some good visuals in the movie, especially when they go to the land of was it New Haven? Is it Mark? I think it is.
I don't know. Like, if you was to ask me what is this movie about, I would honestly say I don't know.
Okay.
Like, there's this kid and he's in school and he's kind of a bad actor. And then there's like this other
kind
elf
of
lady.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. And then there's like this other elf lady, and then she's like a younger, like she's like on some SWAT elf stuff. I don't know. And they're like chasing this thing with this dude who's a dwarf, but he's like a giant dwarf, so he's like a regular sized person whose jaw.
He's like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Dog, it makes no sense whatsoever. And then Colin Firth is there with no accent, and he was just happy to speak regularly. It's just a bad movie. And at one point, he was like skating through the woods on one of those like skateboards with like the one giant wheel. Yeah. And then he like jumped off a hill, and he was just on strings. And I was like, why is this happening in this movie? This movie is so bad. It is so bad. It's probably the worst movie I've seen in 20 years.
It's look, I was trying to be fair because when me and Quattro was talking earlier, I was just like, he said he was excited to see it, and I said, you know what? I want to check it out with him too, to see if we, like it together. There's a difference between having a slow burn in a movie or trying to do storytelling to like when it's boring. But then there's another thing where it's just like there's no story there to present what is going on. It's just things happening. And the kid that's supposed to be playing, Artemis Fowl or Flo, whatever his name is, he's just not good at acting. He's not good at acting at all. And I mean, and his mannerisms and everything. I'm like, I'm not getting what they're quoting criminal mastermind from this at all. It's poorly written. It's poorly done. It comes from a book. It reminds me of how they said, hey, we're going to do A Wrinkle in Time. And it comes from the book. And then the movie just did not do well because the things that happen in A Wrinkle in Time just does not translate to the screen. And when they talk about these fairies and these elves and these dwarfs and all stuff like that, I'm like, okay, y'all get into this magical land, but you're not explaining how nothing works. You're not really explaining why, what is this powerful artist that they're looking for? Why is it they have so much problems with the human world? Why does this guy look like Hagrid from Harry Potter? Like, what? I agree with what Mark is saying. Nothing is making sense. Nothing is making sense. And the movie's only 90 minutes long. The movie's only 90 minutes long, and I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, so can something happen to explain to me what's happening? The CGI can be choppy at times. I'm like, this is Disney, which is bothering me. And I think a lot of times that when you hear Disney, and then like if you're into like the Wizard and Wonder stuff, it's like, fine, that can be kind of cool and everything, but it's like Lord of the Rings did it right to me, in my personal opinion, when you had the hobbits and you had the elves and you had all these, the different things in Lord of the Rings and how it kind of worked together. This wasn't supposed to be nowhere near as serious as Lord of the Rings, but it was just very bad, and that it took me 2 tries to get through it for a 90-minute movie. I'm not going to sit here and say, Quattro, don't watch it, because if you want to check it out, film is subjective. You may love the movie, but even with that subjective nature, there's just some bad things that's around. I'm like, y'all are acting as if this is going to be a hit. Y'all are in this movie, feed off the energy like this is going to be a hit, and reading the script, you should have known that it wasn't. Even the action.
Sounds like you saying.
I'm listening.
Sounds like you saying this Artemis movie is just foul.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you did there.
But I'm Trump.
Yeah, and to the point where it became a harder pill to swallow, because the more that happened, the more I didn't understand. And I said, well, maybe it's because of what I like in movies or what I like, stuff like that. But I mean, maybe it could have got a better actor for that kid, because that kid is atrocious. He's just not good. I mean, it's like they picked a random. Yeah, it's like they picked a random kid. Oh my god, you talk about him screaming for his dad.
Just bad. Just the whole thing bad.
It's really tasteless. And like I said, this now, if you're asking me which is worse in 2020, Artemis Fowl or John Henry,
I would still say I would say Artemis, only because Artemis had Disney money.
Fair. Okay, I'll give you that one.
That's
Artemis
like my only justification, because Artemis had Disney money, and that other one was just, I don't know what Luda was doing in that movie.
Did you happen to
I
see?
don't know what nobody.
Exactly. Did you happen to see John Henry Quattro?
I did see that. That you ain't see. I know y'all can't see my face, but there's a lot of shock going on. Like, really?
Did you like John Henry?
No.
Okay.
That's what you said. I was like, yeah, this is worse than that. I'm like, really?
It's because
effort.
John Henry was bad. John Henry was really bad. But then I watched this Artemis Fowl movie, and I'm just like, this is bad too. And it shouldn't be this bad as a Disney movie. There's a difference between cheesy Disney movies and just straight up terrible Disney movies.
Here's a fine example. Did you know, like, while watching the movie, Brian, did you know that he was a super criminal?
No, because they never illustrated that at all.
At one point in the movie, he says, "I'm a super criminal," and everyone's just like, "Yep." But like, you don't know that unless you read the books. In the books, he's like a super criminal. He's like a criminal mastermind, and he just says it in the movies with some glasses on while like hanging out indoors,
looking like Men in Black. He did nothing. He first of all, it wasn't even him that caught the fairy. It was Cisco Dad. Once he caught the fairy, and he put him in the thing, he's with these glasses on, talking all this crap like, "I'm the criminal mastermind. This is all part of my plan." Oh, peep this. So Quadro, he says, "This is all part of my plan." And then, literally, in the same scene, when the plan goes haywire, he comes back to the fairy. "Can I trust you?" And I'm like, wait, what's wrong?
Wait.
You ain't think this through? And I said, that him asking, "Can I trust you?" contradict everything that happened up until that point in that movie. And then he frees her because the dwarf is literally stretched out his mouth to dig through the ground to come into his house. Ew. And he comes to the house. He says, "I need you to help me get rid of the dwarf." But yet, he's the criminal mastermind to get his dad back. This is all within the same scene.
That sounds so bad.
Pretty bad, man.
I'm like, so this is some hypocritical stuff.
Something redeeming. Something.
And I'm like, I have seen better criminal masterminds in KC Undercover. Did I have it? Am I lying?
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It is bad. You have to understand where the director is coming from, Quattro.
If it's that bad, I really gotta see it now.
It's one of those movies where it's just like it's not only bad. It's just what makes it so, like, I've seen worse movies. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that this is a Disney movie, and the fact that this has like Colin Farrell, it has the lady Judi Dench.
Yeah.
It has whoever that dude was. He was in like Beauty and the Beast. I've seen him in other movies too. Like, this had a decent amount of like named people in it, and it has a decent amount of VFX. And I don't know I'm about to look up the budget just because I am so curious. It is, and it has.
It can't be over $50
base.
million. It can't be over $50 million.
It has a fan base, and it has like this whole book series, and it is fucking atrocious.
They should stop.
$125 million. This is literally the worst movie I've ever seen.
$125 million for that movie.
Yeah, I would rather watch X-Men Dark Phoenix till my eyes bled.
Oh,
to watch this one more time.
That hurt, but it's true. It's, you know what? You're right, because that right there, I'm like, it's bad. And when you have that much money, I guarantee you, John Henry ain't have $125 million.
Yo, John Henry probably had $25,000 keeping it. I mean, $125,000.
Keeping it real. But $125 million.
Yeah.
And then it's on Disney Plus, and they failed like this.
You know what? It reminded me that Disney makes bad movies. Like, I don't know if you remember before the success of the MCU and Star Wars, like, Disney put out like John Carter of Mars, which, like, to me, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, but it tanked so hard. And like, they used to make really shitty movies on a regular basis.
I would say from that, like, 1999, no, I'll say that 2000, 2007 era, that 2000 era, yeah, they had their pile of shit, unless their name was Pixar. Minus Cars.
Everybody had a drop spot.
Minus Cars and Planes.
Just some trash ass movies.
And I once again, I didn't go into this movie with a negative mind, because it's easy to be like, everybody else hate it, I'm just gonna watch it, and automatically I'm just gonna pick out the stuff I hate. I don't like going to movies like that. I'm like, let me go in here for what I need to see out this movie.
Let me tell you something. When I went in to see this movie, I was excited to see it on Disney. I was like, oh, we about to get another Disney banger. Let's do this.
I ain't go there.
And I was, because I was just like, oh, it's going to be great. It's on Disney Plus. You know, Lady and the Tramp was all right. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Mandalorian's on there.
Yeah.
Like, to me, as far as I was concerned, they were pretty much winning. And I was just like, Artemis Fowl, I'm probably going to like it. It's probably going to be like Lemony Snicket's or something. It was bad. Like, it was bad. I watched reality TV and just turned it off.
It's a hard 90 minutes. It's a hard 90 minutes. You may like it, Quattro. I won't think of you differently if you do. You just gotta tell me why. you gotta like sit down and I'm like, cause maybe you saw something that I did not see, because I tried this morning and I tried this afternoon, and I'm like, this movie it's like, it don't help. The spoonful of sugar is not helping it go down at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going down at all, and I just don't. And this subject matter also, I really just don't think that it's, you know, going people. So, if I had to give it my rating, this would be a Run Me My Refund rating, which is an F. And I'm actually disappointed to say that, but it's a Run Me My Refund. So, that's what that one is. Yeah. Yeah, ill. I'm just saying, like, I'm like, 2020, please, the movies ain't gotta be bad too. You know what I'm saying? But guys, that was Artemis Fowl. So if you guys want to check it out, it's free on Disney Plus. You guys can go ahead and check it out. Like I said, Disney Plus do got some decent movies up on there. But I need to go back and actually see the Lady and the Tramp one. But Artemis Fowl is just not the business for it. And it's not even a good roasting movie. You know how you can sit down, you know, with your wife or your fiance and be like, hey, let's just roast the shit out of this movie. You can't.
Right.
It's just not roasting material, because you watch it, you're just like, I can't believe this bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I really can't believe it's that bad. But you guys can always make sure, you know, you guys check out more movie experiences right here on the Nerdgasm Talk podcast as well. And then once again, this is the place to be 2020 and I'll see you at the movies.